Alright, what's good? What is poppin', everybody? It's Avataryaya back with some more Guilty Gear Strive. Kotaku dropped a Guilty Gear Strive exclusive interview on the game. And the headline, you probably already see it. Guilty Gear director, Strive will be the deepest game in the series. Y'all don't know how lit that sounds. However, I want to say one thing before we go any further into this. Generally, this could be a PR stunt. Prime example, game developers do this all the time. Just because a game developer says one thing doesn't necessarily mean it's set in stone. And then Platinum Games be like, we have no plans for this at this time. Then later on they're like, hey, if you want this game on your next current generation consoles, go ahead and join our Kickstarter. Guilty Gear is a series known for its intense and complicated combat systems. The pace can be imposing even for experienced fighting game players, not to mention beginners. Strive is attempting to change this in several ways, and many veteran competitors seeing the upcoming game's new UI and updates to moves as an oversimplification of the series' core concept. But I play Guilty Gear Strive, and I have to say, right now out of every fighting game that's coming out, like, I'm sorry, Grand Blue Fantasy, you are a great game, but Guilty Gear Strive is just so much cooler. And the only problem that I have with Guilty Gear Strive is the UI. They already came out and said they are fixing the UI, so that's going to probably look completely different 3-4 months down the road. Strive, Katano told Kotaku via email, is all about giving an impression of simplicity to draw players in before revealing a level of depth previously unseen in Guilty Gear series. So what does this mean for Guilty Gear Strive in general? Honestly, this is not a Guilty Gear Strive implication. This is for everything fighting game related implication. And I honestly feel like 100% you can drag me for this, but I'm just gonna say it. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate has had a heavy influence on the way fighting games have been going in the past year or two. Also, Dragon Ball FighterZ has been very successful in that right too, and it's been bringing a trend within Arc System Works fighting games. So, let me break this down. If you play Smash Bros, on the surface, it is very easy to play. Like, literally, you got like 4 special buttons, and then you got 1 giant attack button, and you got a shield, right? You pretty much know how to play the game from there, and you just know the percentages. The higher you go, the faster you're gonna probably die, right? That's the cool thing about that. But on a higher level, there's so much actual deep stuff to like get into. Like, you got ledge trapping, you got short roars, you got back air roars, you got so much different stuff that you have to worry about and playing Smash competitively. No matter if it's an online tournament you attend or in real life, it's kind of a different atmosphere, I'm going to be honest with you. It's more streamlined. Fighting games at this point is showing us the bare minimum in trailers or just showing us what the characters can do. But it's up to players to exploit what they really can do. You get what I'm saying? Like, example, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus just came out. Everybody was like, yo, this game's going to be dry, ain't no combos or nothing in it. The game actually comes out. Characters got corner combos that do like freaking 50% of health, 75% of health. There's anti-air combos. There's a proxy OS. There's so much stuff you gotta look forward to in Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. And the game was supposed to be beginner, easy level to just play. That ain't how I roll out here, let me tell you. So that's what I think they're gonna do. Guilty Gear Strive is literally doing the same thing every other fighting game has been doing. But to be honest, Guilty Gear Strive is doing the same thing as like Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, which I honestly don't think that's good for what franchise that it is. The problem with Guilty Gear doing it is because Guilty Gear is a game, like I read earlier, that was very explicit and showing off all the cool, like, OD stuff you can do. Strive is kind of doing the opposite of that, and it's kind of like taking away the appeal for a lot. He says, it's not a simple game as in having limited options or overly easy execution at that deep level. Katano explains, we're in the process of changing what made the prior games interesting into something both new and interesting. The style may be different, but we are putting in the effort to make it even more engaging than our previous titles. I'm at the point where fighting games are like, alright, if it's fun to play, I'm gonna play it. Fuck if it's simplified, forget if it's hard, right? If it's fun to me, I'm gonna sit there and try to play the game. That's just how it works, you get what I'm saying? What does this mean for Guilty Gear Strive and everything else? to be honest with you, I've gotten to a point with fighting games that I'm so tired of discussing this topic about it being easy or simplified, because I know how I feel, and that's just how I feel. It may not be 100% correct, but that's how I feel in the situation, that some of these fighting games, by them simplifying it, everything within the genres kind of somewhat being the same type of game, Strive is kind of keeping that above. Like, if you took out air dashes in Guilty Gear Strive, right? If you took that out completely, it would just be Grand Blue Fantasy versus Guilty Gear Edition. And then Grand Blue Fantasy, for a lot of people, when you look at it, it looks like anime Street Fighter. Is it 100% necessarily that way? In some aspects, the game is even emulated for Grand Blue to be a reimagining of Street Fighter 2, but in Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. So yeah, it's technically anime Street Fighter, but again, everything's kind of feeling the same way. And I like, the reason why I like the fighting game genre is because everything isn't the same way. Let's put it like this: Mortal Kombat played different from Street Fighter, while Street Fighter played different from King of Fighters. Then you got the 3D games. Dead or Alive plays completely different from Tekken, and Tekken, Dead or Alive, we even got the 3D games. Dead or Alive plays completely different from Tekken, while even though Soul Calibur is made by Bandai Namco, the game works completely different as well. And I really like that. But right now, when I see a lot of anime games at EVO, the lineup, like why I was kind of upset at it, was because I was like, alright, most of the games kind of seem like they come from the same cloth or the same type of format. Like, I'm going to be honest with you, Mortal Kombat 11 is more neutral oriented, and that's good and all. However, it don't feel like Mortal Kombat. Like, I don't want to get into that, because that's a whole different thing and a whole different opinion. But like Mortal Kombat 11, and like, it's a wonderful game. However, Mortal Kombat 11 feels like it don't feel like the essence of a Mortal Kombat game. Like, Mortal Kombat was just degeneracy and power. That's how I felt. This one's more like, alright, moving back and forth down to, and I don't know, that's because maybe I don't appreciate that type of stuff. But Mortal Kombat X was fun as hell compared to Mortal Kombat 11. Right, so this is the Strive combo that I was talking about with Chip. It was pretty fire. They're pretty much at 0% of health. So let's look at it. She goes for the low. Look at the combo. Wall bounce. He uses Roman cancel into dive kick. Gets the wall splat. That's pretty, you know, a standard combo in Strive. You're gonna probably see that one a lot. Now, here's the thing. You cannot deny about this, and I kind of agree with Kotaku. In theory, okay, so Kotaku says this. In theory, this sounds great, if a little rote. But from early showings, it's clear that folks in charge of Strive have simplified fundamental elements of Guilty Gear formula. There's been some clear changes to that. So there is some simplification that has happened within Guilty Gear Strive already. Don't sleep, there is some stuff in there already, which is why I was telling y'all that it could potentially be just a PR stunt. Alright, then he says Strive user's interface is frankly pretty ugly, somehow both minimalistic and obstructive at the same time. An important aspect of Guilty Gear gameplay known as the risk gauge, which determines damage and hit gun scaling, is practically hidden. Katano said this was one of the most criticized aspects during public Strive showings, and that the studio plans to show off an improved user interface this spring. Good. Alright, now this is the big about Guilty Gear Strive's air dashing. So in Guilty Gear Strive, you know how in fighting games when you usually air dash, right? So I'm gonna use my Joy-Cons, right? When you air dash, you usually go up, over, right? You go like, alright, that's kind of ugly how I'm doing it. But in Guilty Gear Strive, they have like this ring that comes under them when you jump. So you'll jump, they'll stall, and then they go in. They'll be like, you get what I'm saying? People hate that. I hate it too, because it defeats the point, you know, of what makes anime games hype. Air dashes are hype, because it's like you being able to get in on your opponent, do cool shit. Like, it's fun. It's a fun mechanic. I like it. Kanto also shared some context about Strive's controversial changes to air dashing, which we were first shown in a build at EVO Japan last month. Much like grounded dashing, air dashing is all about quickly closing the gap between you and your opponent. The airborne version serves as a dual purpose that it provides surprise attacks from above using what is known as instant air dashing. This powerful technique allows players to perform an air dash soon after leaving the ground and is ubiquitous. What the fuck is that? Hold on, dog. Ubiquitous. Hold on, we gotta Google this motherfucker. Give me a minute. Ubiquitous. I like that word. Present, appearing, or found everywhere. Alright, okay, we learned a new word today. Learn something every day, folks. This powerful technique allows players to perform an air dash soon as leaving the ground and is ubiquitous in anime-inspired fighting games like Guilty Gear. Okay, so pretty much they're talking about how instant air dashing is usually universally looking the same or appears to be the same in every game. Learning how to use a new word. Oh, look at me, baby, look at me. But let's get back into it. Unlike previous installments, air dashing in Strav is very deliberate and obvious. There's a clear wind-up animation before every air dash that creates a noticeable delay for the character to shoots forward. It's not all bad. Characters can now perform attacks sooner while air dashing, creating interesting mix-up opportunities, but the community is aware of anything that fundamentally changes the way Guilty Gear have been played in the past. Cancel said this was all about making air dashes more recognizable to a wide variety of players. Alright, so pay attention to how the air dashes work in Strive. So right now, this is just a normal combo. He jumps. He air dashing back to normal. Right? But here, see, that's normal air dashes. Shout out to Novirak. I can't even really pronounce his name, but the new forward there. So that's the new air dash in Guilty Gear Strive. Y'all saw that? So look at it. My jumps, it pauses a second and then it pushes her forward. So what Guilty Gear Strive is trying to do is they're trying to make the air dashes to where, you know, they're trying to make everything spectator friendly. Because like there's moments where before I started playing these games, I was watching them. I was like, damn, why is he moving like that? Like, I didn't understand it. Like, I didn't understand it unless I actually played it. I don't really like that way they doing it because it's like making it very predictable too. Like, if you air dash and I know you're going to jump up and hit air dash, can I just be able to punish you for it? You get what I'm saying? That's what I'm just kind of thinking. Like, if I see that and I can do that, that's going to be kind of weird. However, I will say what they should do to make it more, you know, spectator noob friendly to look at, just for a spectator type of thing, because that's what a lot of these fighting games kind of are looking towards to be, like fighters with 2 H's to Guilty Gear with counter hits, Mortal Kombat with fatal blows, crushing blows. Like every game has something to give people a viewing experience. It's very cool to look at. So I feel like what they should do is if you have an air dash, give me like a signal or something instead of just slowing it down. Like if I jump up and I go that way, make me flash a certain way, or like put that little signal behind the camera. I don't know. I feel like there's so many different ways of experimentation you could go with it. They probably just figuring out how to do it. That's all. Alright, regardless, I'm not the biggest Guilty Gear fan, but I've always acknowledged the series and I've always played it here and there with friends. I got some of the worst Guilty Gear games out. I was going to show y'all, but I'm not going to do that to myself. That being said, though, I do want to say that I really like Biken. Biken was a very appealing character to me that made me actually kind of like, alright, fighting games might be the way. Tell me how you guys feel. Do you think Guilty Gear Strive will be the deepest fighting game in the series? Will it be the easiest fighting game to play but hard to master? Do you think that's what they're really aiming for? Because I think that's what is going to happen here with Strive. Like, they're saying that for PR. That being said, follow me on Twitter at avataryayaTV. And remember, you guys stay blessed, be strong, never give up on your goals, your dreams. And also remember, you guys are golden, and that is raw. Squalla.